Now, of course, whenever we try to figure out whether something is correct, not, if it's fake news, if it's a conspiracy theory, if there is actual scientific evidence underneath it, if it's something that has some names beneath it, then the first thing we need to do, of course, is ditch all of the videos that talk about it, particularly on TikTok. If you heard this on TikTok, please stop believing TikTokers. Thank you. Thank you. And we should find the source of these claims. So, first, let's reveal the claim. Then we'll look for the source, the original paper, not someone mentioning it, because then it's a game of telephone. Original paper. Then we see who the scientists that are behind the claim. First of all, we need to see if the claim matches. Then we need to talk about whether or not the findings can be reproduced, because that's how you do science. But let's proceed in order. So the claim is the following, as we read in the Economic Times: Egypt's Giza pyramids mystery deepens. Radar finds underground structures twice as deep as the Eiffel Tower, stretching across 2 kilometers. As we approach the paper, which already I have found for you, of course, the first thing that I would like to underline about this is the word radar. We are talking about a specific type of technology that is mentioned here, SAR, which already can be a little bit of a problem if you know how usually this works in the realm of both geology, archaeology, and whatnot, but we'll get to that in a second. Scientists have discovered a large underground structure near the pyramids of Giza using radar technology. Researchers Corrado Malanga, first name, we got 3 names today, Corrado Malanga from the University of Pisa and Filippo Biondi from the University of this place, used synthetic aperture radar, SAR, to scan the area. Their findings reveal a network extending approximately 2 kilometers beneath all 3 pyramids. Now here's where the statement starts to become exceptional, in theory. These structures contained multiple, so the structures underground contained multiple levels and were connected by geometric pathways. Beneath these pathways, 8 vertical cylindrical wells were discovered. Each well was surrounded by descending spiral pathways reaching depth of up to 648 meters. At the deepest level, the pathways connected to 2 massive cube-shaped structures, each measuring 80 meters per side. Now, let me find you a 3D visualization which they have offered. Okay, so these are the pyramids. This is a very sci-fi representation. Let's have a look at the one at the bottom right. So this would be what we will find in the original paper, this sort of images. There are already some problems with this, by the way, and I will underline them in a second, but this is what we're working with. This is what they recreated afterwards with the usage of 3D. Now, how they went from this to this is beyond me, but let's proceed in order. This is the pyramid. They find 5 structures inside this pyramid, which is very reasonable that we still haven't found everything inside the pyramids. But then this is the situation that we have just been told about. And in fact, there is more, because this picture doesn't even show it, because underneath these, there will be squares, 80 meters in diameter. Let me see if I can find those. There we go. So this you can see a little bit here underneath all of these things that now look very sci-fi again, but then underneath we have got these squares. To save time, let's read the synopsis before we jump into the actual paper. So we are told that scientists have found a vast underground structure beneath the pyramids of Giza using advanced radar technology. The system has multiple levels of geometric pathways. These findings challenge the belief the pyramids were only royal tombs. The subterranean network may have had a mechanical or energy-related function. Researchers want to excavate further, but permission is uncertain. Right. Okay, so regardless of which article you find, oftentimes they tell you about these new pyramids. They drive conclusions, even when it comes to the pyramids being massive power plants or whatever the heck, which are all fascinating, by the way. They will connect it to the idea of ancient civilizations that were in fact advanced. Of course, some people connect it to alien civilizations. And I always say, when it comes to these theories, I find them fascinating. I could spend an entire day reading about this stuff, watching movies about this stuff, and I always like to leave a little bit of a window of possibility, but the size of that window is dependent on the evidence we have, and up to this point the evidence is not great, so the window is rather small. But if you start presenting more and more evidence, then I'm more than happy to start considering the possibility. With that being said, so I don't say absolutely never happened that no aliens, that any alien has ever visited us. Absolutely, it's not possible that there was an ancient, maybe still human, but an ancient, more advanced civilization that was destroyed. I'm not saying it's absolutely didn't happen, because I wasn't there,